Good morning. This video is a blowing up topic and it happens all the time. So when us as accountants, as CPAs, when we ask, what is your revenue? The answer to that question from clients can actually be answered multiple different ways. But wait, isn't revenue revenue? Let's try and get our definitions here first, okay? So there's really three main keywords that clients get confused on all the time, okay? The first one is revenue. What is revenue? Revenue is any kind of money that comes into your company, okay? So revenue could be interest earned on a bank statement. Revenue could be loan repayments. That could be a form of revenue. Okay, this is where people get confused. This is not taxable income. Okay, revenue is any kind of money that comes into the company. All right. Now, some revenue is taxable. Some revenue is not taxable. So, for example, interest income or you selling your product, right? These types of revenues are taxable, which makes them taxable income. Okay, these are things that we have to report to the federal government on tax returns as taxable income, sometimes also called gross income. Okay, now when you have revenue that is not taxable, typically that type of revenue, so for example, inbound proceeds from a loan, inbound loan proceeds are not taxable income, right? They're a loan, you're going to have to pay them back. Typically, non-taxable revenue sources or cash sources are going to show up on the balance sheet of your business or of your even personal, right? If you're running a personal set of financial statements. Now, when a tax CPA or a finance person or a banker says, how much money do you make? You can answer that question in different ways. Okay, that could be your revenue. That could be your gross income or taxable income. That could also be your net profit. Net profit means so you brought in your gross revenue, right? You only report the taxable income. Then you take off all of your expenses. After all of your expenses, then you have net profit. Now, net profit is how much you're going to pay tax on, generally. Okay. You can see in the accounting world, I suppose it would take about 4 years to teach everybody what all of the different categories are, but I'm trying to give you guys a big, broad idea here. So really, if we're looking at net profit is generally what you're going to pay tax on. And it's generally what banks look at to determine whether or not you qualify for any kind of loans. Okay, so gross revenue is great, right? Gross revenue, gross taxable income, these kinds of numbers are fantastic. But if you've spent all your money plus spent more, your net profit could be in a loss position. So net profit is really specifically about how much money generally are you going to pay tax on. Okay, so as a tax strategist, what we always try to do is, of course, reduce your net profit. Now, some strategies work based on gross revenue, some strategies based on gross taxable income, some strategies are based on net profit. So there's a lot of pieces here that if you are an individual and you're trying to come up with your own strategies, I just want you to make sure that you're using the correct how much money do you make, that you're using the correct term based on the strategy, okay? And to be honest with you, that's why most people just call us. Tax Goddess specializes in tax strategy. So of course, if you are looking to reduce all the way down, reduce your net profit to the bare legal minimum so that you only have to pay tax on the bare legal minimum, that's what we do. So reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you, help you reduce your net profit, but keep all your cash. That's the other thing most people get confused on. Net profit does not tie to how much cash you have in the bank. Two very different pieces, okay? So if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out to our team, or of course, you can submit a question on our FAQ page. That's what this question is. Shauna, what is the difference between these multiple categories? So if you have a question that you'd like answered live by me, myself, and I guess, the tax goddess, just post it on our FAQ page, and we'll try to get to it as quickly as we can. So thanks so much, and everyone have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.